The Police's Synchronicity is the sound of a band at the absolute peak of their power and teetering on the edge of impulsion. It's as much a brilliant pop record as it is a document of three men pulling in opposite directions while accidentally creating lightning in a bottle. And this is what it sounds like when psychic breakdowns go platinum. Released in 1983, Synchronicity is the fifth and final studio album by The Police, a band that began as a scrappy punk/new wave trio and ended as arena-filling philosophers. The album title comes from Carl Jung's theory of meaningful coincidences, which should give you a hint. Sting had officially entered his "I read one book and now I understand the whole universe" phase. Thankfully, the rest of the band, Stuart Copeland, a rhythmic manic with a passport full of percussion styles, and Andy Summers, the world's chillest chaos generator on guitar, match Sting's pretentiousness with pure sonic muscle. The album kicks off with Synchronicity 1, a frantic, synth-drenched opener that sounds like Devo being chased by a swarm of bees. It's the most straight-up sort of new wave track on the album, and it's a red herring. What follows is less about pogoing and more about unraveling. Walking in Your Footsteps is a prehistoric slow burn, a world tribal-tinged meditation on evolution and extinction that asks, why wouldn't it be wild if the dinosaurs had better survival instincts than us? And it's silly, it's spooky, and it somehow works. Then there's Synchronicity 2, arguably the most Police-sounding track here, where a dreary domestic life in the suburbs runs parallel with a literal Loch Ness monster rising from the Scottish lake. Why, you ask? Who cares? The song rocks, and Summers' jagged guitar slices through Copeland's panic attack drums, while Sting screams like he's being trapped in a cubicle way too long, which he probably never was, but he sells the anguish. Of course, no review of Synchronicity is complete without confronting the shiny, melancholy skyscraper in the middle of it all, Every Breath You Take. On the surface, it's a love song. In reality, it's the ultimate gaslighting anthem, a stalker's lullaby wrapped in soft, focused production. Sting delivers his most famous vocal performance with a kind of cold detachment that makes it all more chilling. It's the audio equivalent of a black and white security camera feed. You know, something isn't right, but it's beautiful, so you keep watching. And of course, this song is played at weddings. These people have not listened to the lyrics. Side B of the record gets darker and a lot weirder. King of Pain is a self-pity masterpiece, Sting moaning about being a black spot on the sun today over a haunting melodic structure. It's melodramatic, yes, but it's also catchy as hell. You might roll your eyes while humming it all day. Wrapped Around Your Finger is full of literary references and sounds like Sting is, smugly seducing you with a candle and a thesaurus. Yet, it's one of their best songs, hypnotic, minimal, and dangerous. And then there's Tea in the Sahara, which closes the album like a mirage. It's ghostly, atmospheric, and emotionally adrift. The sound of a band floating apart in different directions, even as they make something hauntingly unified. So Synchronicity is a tension-filled, genre-defining record, a high-wire act where pop meets philosophy, ego meets artistry, and perfection meets paranoia. It's no coincidence that this was their final album. They didn't just burn out, they completely vanished, leaving behind a blueprint of how to implode spectacularly. It's rare that a band's most successful record is also their strangest and most uncompromising. But Synchronicity isn't about balance. It's about contradictions. It's about stalking lovers, dinosaurs, mythology, midlife dread, and, dreams. It's messy, brilliant, cold, and hot at once. And, like any good Synchronicity, it leaves you wondering, was this meant to happen? Well, Probably. So, if you haven't listened to this album, check it out. Let me know what you think.